Yo, 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 yo! What's up, all you burner stoners and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
Great.
You know why it's great?
Why?
Because this is our 420 episode.
Yeah.
And we have guests in our new studio. You three are our first guest in our new studio. Congrats. And you want to know who they are? So do I. We have three people here. Nicole is not, unfortunately, but we have Shayna, we have Maddie, and we have Mr. G for year 3
Yes, indeed.
of the 420 family reunion sesh. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great. Hello.
Doing good, man.
Doing
Happy to be
good?
back, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Hey, everybody out there in the world. Hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. And our guest already smoking. And Mr. G, you want to light up?
Yes, indeed.
I do
sir.
too.
Mrs. Weedman's going to
Don't
light up.
forget
We got a
me.
3-joint sesh going on.
Yeah, we do.
3-joint sesh going on right now with some orange soul that was given to me by our good friend, Big Earl, a caregiver out of Michigan. So we're celebrating our 420 episode with some orange soul given to us, and I'm super stoked as soon as that joint gets passed over to me. But how's everybody doing tonight? Introduce yourselves while we do this smoke sesh.
Yeah, I'm Maddie Scanlon, and I am one of the co-founders of High Focus Media and the Profesh Sesh. But my day job, I'm a cannabis data analyst. So
Sounds like fun.
even though I'm out partying, I'm actually spending my days looking at a lot of numbers and putting a lot of dots together to help advise the cannabis industry on what consumers are up to and the product trends of the industry.
Nice, nice.
And my name is Shayna. My day job is a cannabis content creator, and I'm also a co-founder of High Focus Media. I just spend a lot of time doing dabs.
You've been ripping them since you got here,
That's
so
told you literally, right? I'm like, I need dabs, and hanging out. I do a lot of live streaming. That's like one of the things I do daily. But yeah,
nice.
Awesome.
Mr. G, back 3 years in a row.
Back 3 years in a row. My name's Mac Andersky. I guess we can let the cat out of the bag here, so I can maybe get some social media follows from this. But yeah, no day job. I'm home with a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old all day, and by night I'm a musician and learning to be a meditation teacher. At the moment,
Cannabis
I'm going through-
meditation teacher.
I mean, you know.
That's
the only way to
they,
really well together.
they work together. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'm going through a course right now, and I will be certified by the summer to actually go out and start teaching.
that's dope.
Love it. I just started doing a little bit of meditation on that person you sent me on Instagram.
Yeah.
What is his name?
I don't know his name. I'd have to look him up, but he does like a 3-minute meditation, and it's all
great.
about like giving no fucks. Like there's a lot of F-bombs in it. He just sits down. He's like, all right, you fucks, sit down on the fucking
Yeah.
floor and
I
fold
gotta
your
look
fucking
this-
legs.
I got to give him a
and-
little props.
Quit being a spaz and breathe right. Come on, you fuckers.
Yeah, basically that's what it is.
I mean, that's what I was gonna do. I'm gonna have to find a new business model now.
Stole it.
I do not remember his name though, but he's crazy.
Brian,
He's crazy.
B-R-Y.
Yes, he's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, if your titties hurt right now, go fucking meditate and fuck your titties. That's what he says. If your ass hurts right now, or if you got a bad hair day, fuck your hair day, meditate. That's basically what he says. And he's great. I love I'm an F-bomb person, so everybody, I say a lot of them throughout my day. So I think the F word is the most important word in the dictionary, and it should be like in everybody's vocabulary. I think I said that on an episode prior to. Stan Lee, before he died, said he wanted to make the F word the most prominent used word in our vocabulary. He died, and he made a video on it, though, a cartoon video, so I thought it was pretty cool. I do like the F-bomb, though. Do
It's
you like
very
the F-bomb?
fitting.
I'll say fuck. Yes, fuck. Fuck is a good word.
I'm a Canna auntie, and so I like to be creative. So I'm always like fugging, or I say feck. I do fecking a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you know, fecking that, fucking that. You know, because like I want to be able to say whatever I want,
Right.
and then I have to think about it. Be like, who's around?
There you go.
You know?
There you
When
go.
the kids were little, we'd say frickin'.
Yeah,
frickin'
frickin'
A.
Yeah, frickin' A.
Yeah.
The frick.
Mr. G, you have 2 youngins. Do you use the
Yeah.
F-bomb a lot?
F-bomb.
Yeah, more than I should.
When you
at
step on a
home.
Lego.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Do they use the F-bomb yet?
Well, that's the
Have
thing.
they tried it?
They get it and they know, like they know when it's a bad word, and they actually get strategic about using these things. So I really do have to watch it. But it, you know. It
But
comes
Dad, I heard you say yesterday to Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
First time I ever flicked someone off, I was wearing a pink fuzzy glove. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm a kid.
Now, were you on a skateboard or were you on a BMX bike?
No, you know, I did skateboard as a kid. Never learned how to do it right, but I did try.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I'm good right now. So, thank you all for coming to our 420 episode, and we're celebrating hard with. I haven't seen this room this cloudy in a while.
Great.
In a minute. I mean,
good,
Mrs. Weedman and I smoke a lot down here, but now we haven't had a bunch of people down here in a hot minute, and this is pretty nice. So thanks for christening, baptizing, or whatever you celebrate, christening this studio, being the first ones here. So, why are we here today? I didn't meet you first. Mrs. Weedman met you first, so I'm going to let her take over this show. And I'm going to let her ask the kind of questions that, because we want to know you. And we've seen you grow. I've only been to 3 or 2 Profesh Sesh? 2. We missed 1.
3.
But the 2 I've went to, compared to some of the, because I've been following you on Instagram for a minute, from when I saw from the beginning, this last one you did, kudos.
Thank you.
What a great party.
Yeah.
The only thing that upsets me is not you, about they don't let us smoke inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
The venue spaces. Yeah.
That's the only thing. I might have some friends that may let you smoke inside venues, so we could talk later about
That's
that.
something we definitely can talk about. on this
So
episode.
that's the only thing I dislike about.
Us too. Us
Right.
too.
Right.
100%. I mean, to have to go outside in the cold, and you have. I'm going to let you talk about the bus and stuff like that, but to be able to smoke inside and really get the vibe of what you're doing, because it looks like everyone's just drinking,
Right.
right? So I will help fight to free this plant, and it should be free to smoke inside. If I can drink a beer, if I could drink liquor, if I can go snort a line of coke in the toilet like they do in England at a bar,
Yeah.
right? Why can't I just smoke legally in a bar? Have a smoking section like you used to do.
Oh, I can tell you exactly why. The Smoke-Free Illinois Act.
Of course, 100%.
That is why.
Right.
In 2007, somebody put the word weed in one little clause of the Smoke-Free Illinois before cannabis legalization was a glimmer in the state's eye.
But I'll give you another example. You ready? There's consumption lounges now.
Yes. In Wendeline and in Cesar, Illinois.
Yes, we've talked about both of them on the show before, and I've been to one of them, and there's actually more being applied for.
Yes, we know all about that. we have so much to say on
right.
that. You
I'm going to
want
let you
weed.
talk. So
Let's
I'm
leave it.
letting Mrs. Weedman take over, but this is just my
He gets
my.
passionate.
I
He gets
am.
passionate.
You don't even understand. Now I'm high.
Yeah,
I
right.
save me.
Yeah.
See, when I do the show, I save myself all day for this moment to smoke, and then the real Mr. Weedman comes out.
Comes out. Right.
Right. Then the fucks come out. Then it's like no fucks given. Right. So here on this show, I stand with you 3 put together. It's amazing. Kudos. Mrs. Weedman, take over.
Thank you.
Before I take over
Thank
the
you.
show and we talk for an hour.
Yeah.
Right. We could do it.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
You know?
So I don't know which one of you I came across first on Instagram, but I came across one of your content profiles. And then somewhere along the line, the Profesh Sesh popped up, and I'm like, well, what is this whole thing? So I started digging deeper, and then I think I was able to put it together, and then I followed the other 2 of whoever I wasn't following already. So now I was following and seeing you guys grow and change and, like plan all these cool events. So I was like, hey, Mr. Weedman, we need to go to a Profesh Sesh. He's like, oh, what is it? That's tough. How are we going to get to the city by 5 o'clock? We both have work, da, 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 da. I'm like, even if we get there for an hour at the end, we need to go check this out. Came to the first one, and we're a little seasoned. We're a little older than you guys.
Brought the briefcase and
We-
joints for people.
We've done a lot in our life, and we've gone into some different business ventures through our adulthood, and we've been to a lot of networking events.
I like it.
And I'll tell you, the Profesh Sesh was awesome. We had gone to a different one maybe the week before, and we both walked out of there like, "Ugh, I'm never going to one of those again. It was awful, right? It just
I
wasn't.
think we met there.
Maybe.
And
yeah.
I already knew when you said that. I was like,
know.
I'm pretty sure that's.
You know.
I think I know where you were.
That's okay.
It's okay.
lame,
First and last
lame,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
lame.
Sorry.
And it was all just leveraging corporations. Like,
Suits.
who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? And they're all drinking. Yeah, and there's nothing about cannabis around.
Yeah.
We're like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is this?
I know.
So we
But
come to
that's the
Profesh
truth.
Sesh, and it was kind of like the Golden Gates, the pearly gates. It was just kind of like, "Whoa, we are in our place. This is it. These are real consumers who are trying to engage in the community, in the legal market, and get their feet on the ground and get rolling with something. Everybody had a creative idea, and everybody was supportive of one another, and it was nice, cool conversation, and a super cool demographic and mix of ages and backgrounds. It was a really, really great event. We're like, this is awesome. Yeah, super
So
cool.
I have to say something after that, though. When I met you, truly got introduced to you, was that brunch of stoners, and you hooked me up with that fucking sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna give him a plug.
No.
I don't
Okay.
have to. All we have to say is the sandwich, and you said get the dressing on top of that,
Cheap
and it'll
Hut.
rock your
amazing.
world.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there. I saved that for last.
Chiba
I
Hut.
saved it for last.
Chiba
right?
Hut, the White
The
Reaper,
white
Widow.
Widow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
And I
right
s-
now.
And I
had
was
it for breakfast this morning.
so full.
That's amazing.
I ate
Don't
everything
lie,
else
don't
on my
lie.
plate because the Pop Tart was fucking bomb.
It was. That's
Okay, yes.
Crybaby sweets.
So,
Shout out.
and I always mention it on Brunch of Stoners. I'm only coming for the Pop Tarts.
Yeah.
But
See?
I ate everything on my plate. Even the non-eggs were delicious. It was the cheese, the non-cheese too, and I didn't believe it was good, but it was. The whole thing was good. I saved that. I should have ate the Chiba Hut first because I was so full, and I ate it, but I enjoyed every bite, and I was just like, oh, my face.
All right, so wait
Go
a
ahead.
minute. So back to Profesh Sesh.
We also have Chiba Hut there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we came to your first event and we were hooked. We're like, we have to go to these all the time. And it has just been cool to see. I think the second one of us was sick. We came to the most recent one, and it was like an explosion. There were just so many more people. So for those that don't know about Profesh Sesh, Shayna and Maddie are going to talk about it a little bit, but they have organized and facilitated a networking event for people in the industry who want to become part of the industry and who live in Chicago and want to engage in conversation and thinking and similar interests.
Community, frankly.
Community.
Yeah.
Yeah, just building a community
So-
of stoners, burners, and potheads, and
So, yeah.
you know,
All right, Mr. Weedman's on fire with the talker today. All right, Mr. Weedman. Girls.
Yeah, so
Have it.
Profesh Sesh. Actually, first off, the name is funny. I was about to take my annual tea break, and it was the last thing the high gods gave to me. The name. You should professional sessional. No. Profesh Sesh. And so,
Mrs. Weedman make fun of me. How long did it take me to learn that word?
It was hard. He's like,
I know
say it
it's
again,
a
say
little
it
bit of
again.
a I know it's a
I
tongue
can't
twister.
say disc golfing. What's the other word?
Disc
How do you say it?
Golf,
Thing.
frolf.
I can't. I
Frolf.
can't say
Frolf.
that.
Can't
either.
say
I can't
frolf.
say that either.
Yeah. Frolf.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well,
Nor should you.
Yeah, you don't have to say it.
it's all good, optional. But so I come from a background of doing networking events in Chicago for nonprofits, and then I got into cannabis, doing all this data, and I'm watching the data and seeing all these people love cannabis and not go back to alcohol after the pandemic. I'm going out to all these networking events, and I'm not able to smoke. Womp, womp, womp. I did not like that. I do not drink anymore. So I was just sick of standing out and smoking on the street, and it was just a matter of connecting the dots. We knew the Sesh Bus was out there, and it was an option. We knew that, well, we didn't know, but now we know that there are going to be bars that realize they need to reach the cannabis consumer. So just put it together, and we're lucky to have had a large network, being 3 cannabis influencers who really reach different scopes of people. Like we do have a good overlap, especially now that we've been working together. But when I formed High Focus Media, I wanted to find creators who could just represent everything going on in Chicago cannabis, and I'm really grateful to have found it and to see it manifest in this awesome event series where it is diverse people. And I always feel bad making everybody drive around, so we're going to try to bring it to the burbs too. So
Yay.
South Side. Gotta bring it to the
Yeah.
South
Exactly.
Side.
So
Yeah.
we want to, be everything is showing us that people want to be together and smoke. And right now we're in I don't even say we're playing the game of on-premise cannabis. We've got Wendeline, we've got Sesser, and a big part of Profesh Sesh that kind of is also why I'm so passionate about on-premise, because the nascent smoke lounge industry is going to be required to keep the bar industry in Chicago alive. I really believe, seeing how this data is trending. And I don't want the laws of the state to be what prevents it from happening. So we actually have an advocacy wing where we're lobbying and doing political efforts to see if these laws can be changed to be more favorable, directly trying to change the part of the Smoke-Free Illinois Act that prevents us from smoking in bars. So this is the start of Profesh Sesh, having the bus where it's this thing. But eventually, you know, we want to be able to, okay, who's starting the cannabis lounges now in Chicago? And that might take a long time. That might take some state law changing. That might take some municipality laws needing to change. It might not even be able to be in Chicago. It might be all in the collar burbs of Cook County. Who knows? But we see this need for the consumer, and we're filling it the best we can with the capacity around us. So we're super grateful.
We didn't get a no in Evergreen Park. We got a maybe, or we're not quite ready yet.
For a smoke shop to get
a smoke lounge. No, we were going to open up our own
We were
lounge
trying,
here in
yeah.
EP. Yeah.
Yeah.
She didn't give us a no.
Right.
Just the town's not ready yet.
Just like
Maybe.
people can't get their mind around like how are you bringing in tax dollars?
Yeah.
You can't sell the weed, so what are you selling to get people in the door? And that is kind of a burden because the only way you're going to get people through the door then is with entertainment or food or both, right?
Right.
And yeah. And so it was a challenge. Like Mr. Weedman said, we didn't get shut down. We were just kind of put on pause.
Got it.
Like, let me see it happen somewhere else and
then
see
we'll
how
see
they
how
do
it
it,
goes.
and then we'll talk about it kind of thing. I'm like, all right, that
Perhaps a successful event might visibly, you know,
Right.
the
show
one,
them-
the one,
Yeah.
the one we did in Blue
Everybody's chill.
Island.
yeah, I should invite our mayor.
The one we did in Blue Island worked. We did
your
our launch
Profesh
party.
Sesh.
Hell yeah.
Mayors
That's
are
what
all
I should
invited
do.
to Profesh
All
Sesh.
mayors
Mayors
come.
of all kinds.
Brandon Johnson.
Johnson.
Everyone, listen, Brandon, come. The Profesh Sesh. Thank you. May 3rd.
I think we should invite some mayors. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Especially towns that are already legal and having dispensaries that are on board with all of the laws that are in place already. And that's my kind of thing too. If you're trying to start a business in the world of cannabis, legal cannabis or CBD, go in a town where a dispensary is because you know some of those laws are chipped away. Like the council is already seeing the dollars, seeing the business aspect, seeing that it can succeed without trouble. So, yeah, gotta get all those people. I just hit a wall of high.
Yeah.
I totally
Yeah,
forgot
shout
where I
out
was
to
going.
Big Earl, man.
Big Earl, Big Earl,
Big Earl.
Orange Soul.
Big Earl.
Yeah, yeah.
I know once you hit
So.
that third,
Boom.
fourth hit, I know, it's going to be
Yeah.
a good show.
I just been
Not
thinking
all
about that
around.
sandwich Boot was
Sounds good, right?
describing.
So you tell us some more, Shayna. What do you because Maddie told us a little bit about her day job. We talked about your content creating, and you're doing that, and then you've got the media company, and then you're doing Profesh Sesh. Boom,
A lot.
busy,
A lot.
busy.
We are busy. I'm trying to think where to start, you know?
You're Chicago. You live on the west side of
Yeah,
Chicago.
I live on the west side of
Yeah,
Chicago.
yeah.
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, which is why
I've
my
got
name is
family
Southside.
there.
Shady,
Yeah.
not Southside Chicago. Sorry, guys. But I've been Southside since I was a teenager, so I just kept my name. It's
Yeah.
been the same ever since on my Instagram. And then let's go all the way back. We'll go all the way back to like 2020 when Illinois went adult use. I had a private account on my Instagram page. It was like maybe like 1,400 people that I met in life or I knew through work or traveling, but it was private and I was doing the same things like smoking weed for them and being like, you know, but it was private. And then when we went adult use in 2020, I decided to like, why not just unlock the page and see what happens? And like I was searching around for people who were maybe doing what I was doing, but no one was close. They were all in California, and frankly, no one looked like me. You know, so that was kind of thing where I was kind of like, well, that could be the change I want to see. You know, start my own self.
Yeah.
But I was a person originally like behind the camera. I had to put myself in front of the camera, so that was like a journey that I've accomplished so far.
Yeah, you're great.
So, and right now I'm around like 17,000 followers in a little over 3 years.
Awesome.
So from 1,400.
Yeah.
So I think I'm doing something good.
think you're
and
doing
people
good.
like to see diversity and people who look like them, and like I'm a regular degular person who likes cannabis.
How did that go?
A regular.
Degular person.
What is
you know?
Dagler?
You know.
Ask Cardi B. Okay, she
I
made
just,
it up.
I'm still, I've listened to Cardi B. I'm still trying to figure out what the meaning is.
I know.
I'm waiting. I'm
a
asking
regular.
more people.
Right.
Regular, but I just want to know what degular is.
It's just a fun rhyme.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
As a
Regular
songwriter,
regular,
I
right?
can chime in on this. It rhymes.
It
Yeah.
rhymes.
That's
It
it.
rhymes.
You're
That's
thinking,
it.
Yeah.
thinking
Don't
about it too
overthink
hard.
it.
The smoky
Yeah.
poo thing. People are like,
Yeah.
why smoky poo? And I'm like, why not?
'Cause it's
Why
cute.
not
Yeah.
make a little smoky poo?
Why not be cool?
Doesn't matter.
Right.
I actually have a nug I'm going to give to you called sour poo. Would you like some?
Oh, yeah, any
Thank
poo.
you.
Sour
I love
poo.
we like the
sour
poo.
Get it,
smoky
Mr.
poo.
Weedman.
Right. I don't know if you heard earlier. I was like, she off. I said, "Do you have a drinky poo?"
Yeah, exactly. Drinky poo. It's actually a
I'll
Trailer
do-
Park Boys reference, so
I
that's
have-
deep weed.
this is made by Big Earl also.
Oh,
Wow.
that's awesome.
Whoa.
And what is it called?
Sour poo.
Sour poo.
Take a
Take a
sour
nuggy
poo
nug.
Ooh, smells good.
Oh my god.
Does it smell like
Thank you.
poop?
Smell this.
Stinky,
I love when
cheesy?
You can see the real
goodness.
outdoor
Cheesy,
grown
stinky
looking
Yeah,
flower
totally.
listener.
Or at least
I'm gonna
like
explain this
homegrown.
nug to you.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's fluffy. Just so you right.
fluffy.
We're all so high.
Hand-trimmed.
We'll be
Right.
back in a minute. It's like we're taking a little
Yeah.
break.
I'm gonna roll
Just
you all sour.
Hang with us. Go smoke a
love
joint
to.
for a second and come back.
Yeah.
While they're talking, I'm rolling.
Oh, that smells good.
Cheers.
It's not
Cheers.
super danky or cheesy.
No. It's kind of like
kinda
almost
fruity,
citrusy.
grapey.
Yeah, future. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
Girl.
fruity.
Grape.
Yeah.
grapey.
Tutti fruity, grapey.
Yeah. Thanks, big girl.
Thanks, Big Earl.
Thanks, big girl.
Oh my god.
Thanks,
What?
Big Earl.
Also,
Oh, I know
give a
Profesh.
shout out to Split Society because they're the
Yeah.
ones. They're the ones
Oh,
that are throwing us
I will
shit.
tell
Shout
you,
out Split
these
Society.
Split Society wraps
Mhm.
are smooth.
They are smooth. It's
You
my first time trying that really.
can roll a really nice fat joint, and it is not hot. It just smokes so
Yeah, I
nice.
like it. It pretty much like
Yeah.
it didn't canoe or anything.
No.
Right. And they're good people.
And they're good people.
And you know we got support
Spliff
small business.
Society.
Chris comes to everything. He always shows the fuck up.
And that's the thing
Yeah.
that we've learned. There are people in Chicago and cannabis who just want to show the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's just like, come
Give 'em
on,
a
let's
space.
go. All
Yeah,
right,
let's
keep
get
it
together
going.
and do
Let's
it.
go Like,
Right.
you know, once a month, and it's
Yeah.
still slamming so hard, not everybody gets to go on the bus. So
Right, right.
Slamming.
Yeah, so what we have to do here in Chicago and what they've gotten creative with at Profesh Sesh is to supply a mobile smoke lounge.
Yeah.
So we can't smoke in the bars or on the streets in Chicago. It has to be in a private space.
We
So the
like to
bus
call it a safe space to consume cannabis and a private space to consume cannabis in usual public settings.
Yeah.
It gives you a space to be safe.
Yeah.
You know? It's also safe. That's it already. It's safe.
Yeah, like hypothetically, you know, you can get a fine on the street.
Yeah.
During the bus, you can't get a fine on the bus. And we know
I
that.
could have got arrested.
Yeah,
Right, right.
But we know now. You
Yeah.
know, we know it's not like everyone. It's funny to see the bus out and everyone's waiting and there's all this still smoke happening on the street and we're like, see, this is why this shouldn't be
Literally.
illegal. Because
Right.
Look, nothing bad's happened.
Right,
It's just,
right.
so,
Yeah.
And you know.
That's
Love it.
cool. That's cool. So, Mr. Weedman, are you rolling?
Extra joint on the show. I didn't
See?
come prepared.
Wow.
See,
I felt like I failed.
if Nicole was here, you have to roll
if
3
Nicole
more.
was here.
But I got, but see, all you had to do is reach in the closet, though.
That's true.
And you saw how much fucking weed is in the closet. You could have been without.
The weed
Right.
closet.
All right.
Closet.
Should we have Mr. G over here sing us a tune?
Not yet.
Let's
Uh,
let's
tell-
talk.
Tell us a little about what you're doing.
What's Mr. G up to?
Oh man. First of all, I just love everything you guys are saying.
Thanks.
That's super smart. I'm high, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping to
We're all
represent myself and
I'm gonna roll a big one.
Keep
so
up.
I can
Oh,
join
shit.
the party.
oh
Yes.
boy.
It's Friday.
So what have you been up to?
So I have been actually I just came from literally a 2-hour meditation session with my class. That's our Friday. It's like a weekend intensive sort of thing, 5 weekends over 4 months. And I'm learning how to teach the really basic style of mindfulness meditation, like the early Buddhist stuff. So it's, you know, if you've ever meditated on an app, it's usually guided, right? Even like really guiding you, like Headspace. There's a beam of light coming down
Yes.
onto you, and so this is sort of the opposite of that. It's really just following the breath and sort of seeing what comes up in your internal space and just letting it hang out, right? And that's kind of it. So it's awesome, and you know, it's like the kind of thing I want to share with people. So that's why I'm in this course. And with cannabis, like, it's essentially everything's welcome. Like meditate sober, meditate stoned, meditate a little stoned, meditate on a 2 milligram edible, everything. Coffee. You're essentially exploring your internal world, right? Which everybody does. You've got a monologue. It's going, right?
I don't.
No?
No?
We recently discovered this about me.
We might need a new Dalai Lama. I don't know if you're the chosen one.
I mainly just
I don't know
see
if you're
pictures
high.
and hear Led Zeppelin. No, that was too hippie. Cut that out.
Songs are crazy.
Edit.
In my own meditation experience, because of being a musician, I think my brain, I think as a survival mechanism, grabs onto melodies and songs. So if something's playing like my kid, it's the worst when it's my kids because it's like songs about
Vocal
marshmallows and shit. It's,
Right.
but there'll be a loop, whatever it is, whatever I listen to, whatever was on, if it's the radio. So that's a different level in my head of thought. It's weird. And it's just fun. That's it. It's just, you're exploring your own space, your own cosmos, essentially.
And I feel like it's like a practice of stopping on your thoughts instead of letting your thoughts kind of take over in your mind and just keep bouncing from one boom, 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 all different things. It's like, ooh, this is a thought I'm going to grab onto right now. I'm going to mindfully be here right now and actually let this thought evolve before I jump off to 10 other topics.
No, not even that. It's essentially even just stepping out of the river altogether and just seeing a thought for what it is, sort of develop, and you just go, oh, it's a thought.
Right,
Okay.
acknowledge it and then let it go.
Yeah,
And let it go.
acknowledge it and let it go. There's a lot of, Buddhism is all, it's just metaphor, lists and metaphors.
I love
I
it.
see everything in metaphor.
You do?
I'll
nuts.
recommend some books for sure. Because the Buddhist stuff is really stony too. Like, honestly, the way these things sort of map onto each other. Like, my wife is a educational professional, and she's getting a master's. She's a second master's in studying child development right now. And like the way this stuff maps, like she's learning, basically survival brain versus amygdala versus thinking brain, and how they interact in a dysregulated kid. And then I just look at it and go like, oh, that's a Buddhist thing too. Like, it's almost like science is meeting philosophy, like in real time right now. It's a really cool time to kind of be into this, which is why mindfulness is it's like a buzzword,
It really is.
HR departments love it.
I
And
love my hashtag. Mindfulness.
there's a lot of there's a lot of paths to take. I just and it's essentially like what I lost a sort of career path with COVID, like cut off, right, March 2020. And it was essentially like my midlife crisis right now. Instead of an earring and a Ferrari, is like, how do I help the world? Essentially, like, people need something right now, man. People are kind of fucked up. People need exactly what you guys are bringing too. Like, every word, like safe consumption space outside of alcohol, or that's huge.
Thank you.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
poop.
Poo in the poo.
So yeah, essentially, stony thoughts map perfectly onto meditation and Buddhism. One really, because sometimes in this class, just to break it up a little bit, we'll do like more of a focused meditation on a topic, and we're also meditating a ton. So like you're kind of in this little zony space. So like we did like a sound meditation, right? Where it's essentially close your eyes and just listen. Whatever sounds come in, just like let them come, don't judge them, and blah blah blah. And I had this really crazy, like, very stone. It's the exact thing you talk about passing around a doob, is like sound happens on your eardrums, right? Everything else you think about it, you create in some way, like whether conscious or subconscious, right? So if you hear a bird in the distance, no, you didn't. Like some sound molecules, some sound frequencies hit your eardrum. Sound molecules hit your eardrum, dudes. I'm hitting a joint as I say this. So.
When you're done,
So, dude, when the sound molecules hit your eardrum,
what do you think of that? What do you think of the flavor of that one?
Yeah.
Is that good?
all right, let's see if I can get through this sentence.
Yeah. He grows terpy. He speaks Terpanese.
Yeah.
Like I do.
I will smoke a 6% with more terpenes.
Oh, 100%. I've been saying we need a 14% joint that I could smoke every day, and filled with all the terps that I like for me.
I would love it.
100%.
All right, so the sound molecules hit your eardrum. And essentially that's scientifically what like if we magic bust it into your ear, like that would be what happens scientifically. Then your sort of lizard brain takes over, makes sure it's not a threat, passes it along. Do we need to be anxious about this? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Is it a neutral thing? Like whatever it is. And then essentially your brain goes, yeah, it's a bird in the distance. Like what's distance? Your eardrum doesn't know what distance is. And like, so when you have these little stony moments in these meditations where you're like, wait a minute. Like you
like
realize,
I am right now. Like whoa, I never thought
you realize
about that.
there's a story, right?
Yeah.
And then you realize you can kind of insert yourself wherever you want in that story. Like it's all a construct, and then it just turns into one of those like, oh my god, everything's a construct.
It really is.
It's everything, dude. So like that's every at least in my experience, every insight that I've gotten on this path has also been like a stony moment, you know, where you're just like, hey, dude, the joint is in my hand again, so this would be perfect. Like, man, everything's just vibrations, dude.
Like everything's energy, bro.
Mr. G and I haven't hung out in a
White
while, so this might be a
molecules.
long episode.
Yeah.
We haven't hung out in a while. It's been great. We can
We're becoming less coordinated over here in the studio.
I actually get more relaxed the more I smoke.
Yeah.
Ooh, the flavor
I'm
really
like,
came
we're
through in
on
that
fire
one,
tonight,
too.
man. When we first started, I was like, now I'm like, what?
What?
Fire it up, you know?
I did go get a second one.
Yeah, you did,
I
right?
did, because we all smoked those first three, and I rolled 3
Right.
because I knew we're all pretty big, and I'm like, me and Mrs. Weedman will smoke one, 2 of you, and Mr. G can smoke his own. He's OG. He's been growing and moaning and sowing for a long time, and so I figured that would be enough to get us through maybe the first 40 minutes, and I was wrong.
Yeah.
So I had to go
We'd
do
like
a
to
bigger
smoke
one. I had to do a full.
cannabis.
I feel you. I feel you.
Professionally online.
We're professional.
Is this your first podcast though?
No.
Perfect. So you're experts. I'm not. So
It's my first in person, but I've done it like virtually.
I am so happy we didn't have to do a virtual.
We've
Everybody
had
know-
a lot of virtual
everybody
guests, and
knows.
it's really nice to have people in
Everybody
the studio.
knows I've had, but I don't like doing them
Yes.
because as much as I've enjoyed our guest, I want them here.
Yeah.
It's
Like
more
you can't
real.
pass the joint around,
Right.
and you
True.
can't. You're not
That's
like
true.
the energy is just a little different when
They
it's
were in
virtual.
California, so you know it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing them now because there's a lot of people I do want to reach out to and talk to, but it's tough to not have people in person. This is what I love, you know. You just share a roundtable discussion. So you OG though, and I'm going to throw this off and take you off meditation for a second because you used to grow.
Yeah.
Like
I just returned to the town where I grew, and I had a total, like, that might have been the Wonder Years theme music should have been playing, you know. What would you do? Because I was just cruising around, sad, going past. And it was down by St. Louis, Edwardsville, Illinois. So I could tell. Let me tell a really quick story, just because
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is perfect. This is the perfect story from Edwardsville. So that was first day. I went down to visit some friends, but it was a Saturday party and it was kind of family-ish. So I was like, I'll stay out of their hair first night. I'll just visit the town, go hang out at the bar, do whatever, and get a hotel. So when I got to town, I just drove around for a bit, and that was my sad Wonder Years moment, just driving past the old houses and whatever. And the dude I grew with, he passed away, you know, a few years ago, and he was my best buddy. So like that, you know, it was just thank you. Anyway, yeah, that just sidetracked me. But so then I went back to the hotel, chilled out, got a little stoned, and then was gonna go to my bar, my old bar, right, and gonna know somebody. Like it was super joyous. So I call up, I get an Uber. And Uber driver pulls up, and it's a black dude with like an older dude with dreads, like kind of, but like ponytail, like not like super long. So we're just shooting the breeze, and he ends up being from the south side of Chicago, right? But he moved down there in '83. So I'm like, oh, dude, where? And he's like, you know, I think Chatham. I'm like, dude, I'm from Beverly Morgan Park. We're shooting the shit. He's like, yeah, Chicago, this new mayor, everybody's a buzz. I'm like, dude, it's dope. I'm so glad I live in this super cop neighborhood, and like it's just vibes off where I'm at, and blah blah blah. And he goes, well, actually, it's funny. I just retired from the Edwardsville Police Department after 25 years of service.
Whoopsie.
And I said, that makes us practically related.
Right.
We occupied the same space a few times, my friend. And I don't remember him. I remember some of his boys. And essentially, the story was, my buddy grew at his house, and he had a hydroponic setup. And there was something called MEGSI back in the day, too, the Metropolitan Enforcement Group of Southern Illinois. And they're just a crooked-ass, kind of law enforcement group that went after drugs. And a lot of times they just take your shit, and then you'd never hear from them again.
Yeah.
At least those were the
They
stories.
had their own rules.
And anyway, these really fucking kind of dorky town cops, we were a kind of known entity, being musicians and kind of nutballs running around town doing a lot of psychedelics. We had a slight reputation with the law. So when they kind of figured out my buddy was growing, they were like, got him. Let's get a sting. It was like The Wire started up, right?
Got him.
Yeah. You gotta walk through the garden.
Book him, Dano.
And so they pulled a whole operation and they got him and they put him in jail. And I got the phone call from jail to rally the troops and get his brother, basically put his brother on the case. And you hear my southern accent right there when I said that? I'd get him. I'd beat him.
Get them.
I had to call him.
Put his brother on the case.
Put his brother Brown Dog on it. So
44.
So anyway, they had me for nothing. I didn't live in the house. I just went over and sprayed water on the plants and stared at them and was like, this is great. But they had nothing. So they just chased me around and basically were like, we're going to pull you over every second. And I had this big afro and I drove an 88 Lincoln Town Car that was the size of this basement. I was an absolute, I might as well have had a spotlight on me. So that's why I got kicked out of that town. So anyway, I went to the bar and I got really drunk and then I called an Uber and it was the same fucking guy. And I was hammered.
Oh, fuck.
See you again, cousin.
Oh, shit.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, that was my initial growth story. I was unconnected, but I had to go. I got run out of town like a cowboy movie, dude. It's cool.
Don't you never come back now, you hear?
Right? And they still got undercovers in my fucking lift.
So the cannabis scene in Chicago, are you bringing it? Or is it finally come?
So, okay, one thing I always think about is culture can't really be dictated by a few individuals. It's way bigger than us. Like we aren't making the scene. Everyone's been here. It's we're just saying hello. And I feel there are so many different parts of the Chicagoland cannabis scene. And some people love each other, some people don't. We are the MSO-dominated state, which for listeners at home who don't know, that is multi-state operators are big weed, and Chicago has a ton of them. And it affects our industry in every way possible. And we operate it in the best we can. We get through the best we can and trying to push the narrative forward and change what's normal and say this is normal. Don't criminalize it. And showing anyone who walks into those Profesh Seshes, there's no single stoner you're seeing. It shatters the stereotypes. Right. And so, what we're trying to do is bigger than just the cannabis scene, I guess is what I see it as. Because the scene's out there and kicking and doing cool things without us too. And doing things that we could join along in as well, but we're trying to bring it out to the bars where the other people are that might not ever find the other stuff that's going on because they're normies. Not to
Trying to normalize the normies.
Yeah, no, we know. I see the data. All these normies buying weed and smoking it at home and then not spending their money out anymore on the weekends. It's gonna affect the economy. I care about this economy. As Joe Biden said, hurts nobody, helps everybody. So I love that meme. It's a good meme.
Well, every bar has people going outside to smoke one hitters, hit their vape, or people
Oh,
inside
yeah.
hitting their vape.
Yeah.
People hit vapes inside. That's
Oh.
I mean,
know.
do we not admit that as
Yeah.
a state?
I don't.
You know, it's
I'm
not.
a terrible rule follower.
I kind of am
definitely do.
too, but
If the puff comes with me, we're puffing. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. On my packs.
so.
I just hand out a
let's-
bunch of
Let's
edibles.
catch up to the truth, right? Let's catch up to what's actually going on, and be like, no, it's going on, so let's make it fun.
It's like
And let it be.
I just put out an article about for Brightfield Group, so with the data side, which is the fun stuff. Because here I am in my fun social life, seeing these things, and it's like, look, it's in the numbers too. Like it's not just me saying it. 40% of cannabis consumers use multiple times a day, including right after waking up. Let us sink in. 40% of people who use cannabis, and it's like, it's normal every day, all day cannabis use wherever you're doing, like coffee shops, breakfast restaurants, everywhere. Like that, it's something that
Matt and I drink 5 cups of coffee a day.
I was going to bring that up as a topic.
I'm cutting down.
Caffeine
I'm learning a lot
readily
about
around.
myself.
Right.
I'm learning a lot about myself through
Nicotine is
meditation.
readily around. If you,
Sugar.
yeah, sugars every day. Mrs. Weedman's got a sugar problem.
I
You came in the house. What's on the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got cow tails.
Yeah.
May
Candy.
I give a shout out to Mrs. Weedman on the cow
I got one
tails?
on the way out.
That was next to the Chico sticks. at the
sugar right there,
bodega.
the number one enemy. And Mrs. Weedman tried to go out sugar for like a month. She lasted 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days.
Like nobody's gonna tell me what I can and can't.
that was her
eat.
excuse.
Seriously.
Sugar.
I'm eating candy, and I like grabbed a big bag of Swedish fish, and like, yeah, I'm eating them all.
You can live this life once.
Right?
Just have the day
Yeah.
sugar.
Yeah.
I'd rather have real sugar than the fake stuff.
Right?
100%. So
Sugar,
have it.
sugar. Yeah.
I can't. My body says no.
Yeah.
It's the fake sugar. But
Yeah. Sugar's good.
sugar is good.
You had a problem with your coffee today and sugar, didn't you?
Oh man, I wasn't even stoned.
You could have
I
been
don't know
because you
what I
ate
was
your edible
doing.
late last night, so
Huh?
it could have been a little.
And maybe I was
refill.
still a little high. I went to fill the sugar bowl back up. I had already poured my coffee in my mug, and when I turned the sugar bag over and poured about 3 tablespoons of sugar, I was like, "Oh, that's my coffee cup." Fuck. So I poured the instead of in the sugar bowl, I poured the bag of sugar into my mug.
Nice.
So then I'm trying to like scoop the sugar out of my mug because I'm like, I'm not throwing this cup of coffee away. I'm like scooping it out. Oh, it was so gross.
Listen,
I'm like,
don't
can't
let
do
her
it.
fool you. We
Can't do
smoke. We start smoking like about 5, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. We don't stop until we go to bed at 1 in the morning, and then we take our edible about like midnight. So when we wake up in the morning, it still has the residual. So we're usually high
Yeah.
till about noon, and then we take a little break
I love it.
because I got to get some work done,
Right.
you know, and then we start again.
We
I
have
get the
to
work
fun.
done, you know?
Yeah.
It's like weed to me, I was always very hyperactive.
Totally.
I was the valedictorian of my high school. Oh my god, and then I became the stoner. I'm gonna call the 10-year reunion and be like, hello, I'm gonna bring a weed bus to Leiden.
Were you like a gifted kid?
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't know I was
Yeah.
smart though until like I was 15 and I was in AP Euro and everyone was struggling and I was like,
Did you go?
what are you?
Did you go to Catholic school too?
No.
Okay.
Public school, K through 8. Same
Okay.
bitches, Ride or die.
Heard.
Ride
or
or die.
Right, same bitch.
Oh shit. So, are you enjoying the cannabis scene then? That's going on.
You know, like, I have never existed in any other way. You know, I'm relatively young. I was in college, and, I mean, I was drinking my ass off, and I was smoking still right before. I had this technique. You're really, really, really high, do a bunch of shots, get in an Uber, and then don't buy nothing all night. That'd be my idea.
Man.
So that's why you're the valedictorian. That's pretty
no.
smart. That's pretty good.
That was pretty
You know,
pretty
I've
smart.
always been connecting dots. But, you know, straight up, they told what reason why I became valedictorian. Imagine I'm wearing a extra large Slayer hoodie. I have cootie clothes. I come into the counselors call me in and they go, "Girl, you are the valedictorian right now." And I'm just like, "What's that mean? Huh? What's it mean?" And then they're like, "It means you're gonna like go to college for free." I'm like, so what? You're gonna, you know, good things will happen to you. And I'm like, well, you'll get to give a speech at graduation. And I was like, damn it, I'm in. So like genuinely from like 15 to like 18, I just like grinded my ass off so I could give a speech at the stage of the Rosemont Theater. And then I gave the speech and it was about sponges.
Can you give me the opening line and the closing line?
something about you got to race this sponge or something silly like that. It was a big metaphor about sponges and racing, and it was a good time. It was good. And I left the sponge there. I hope they used it perfectly good.
I get it.
You get it?
I get it.
You can't race a sponge in a boat race.
Right.
You gotta build your boat.
That's right.
It's a graduation speech if you ever heard it. But so I spent a lot of time not doing things I actually wanted to do, doing things for a bigger goal than not my own pleasure. And so then I was like, what do I like? Oh my god, what do I like? And then like weed. You like weed? And I don't know. It's just it just really is like the community around it. I feel like we're cutting the edge of something. Like we're literally cutting the edge. The edge is not there. It's like a whole different type of.
You're just doing something different and cool.
Yeah, fast.
Doing your own thing.
Crazy thing, and like
doing your own thing. Just going out there and fucking kicking ass and taking names and not letting anything stop you.
we're trying. Things have tried.
We're doing it.
No, don't
Right.
try.
No,
There is no
yeah,
try.
I know.
Listen, you see
Yeah,
that
we're
pic?
doing it,
Wait,
we're doing
look
it.
behind you. Who's right behind you?
Yoda.
Yep.
There is no try.
Yeah.
Right.
There is no try.
We do.
We do.
There is
Is
only
he playing
do.
a cello?
Yeah, you like that? With little R2 right next to him. A good friend of mine, Mr. Jono, got that for me.
That's awesome.
So there is no try. You're doing it because if you were just trying, it would be getting done.
Yeah.
And now you're on your how many now? You're going on your 7th, 6th?
No, it's only 4. But well, see, so here's the cool thing. Replay loved what we were doing so much. They saw the vision. They invited us back for 3 more pop-ups. that
Sweet.
aren't Profesh Seshes. They're just Replay wanting the bus and us and our
High focus
the
media
high focus media
and Replay.
following to come together and be able to just spark up people for their That 70s
And the
show.
spin and the spin
How
at the
fun.
bar.
Period.
I'm not gonna lie. I worked 23 years in the bar industry. If you're bringing 400 people to my fucking bar, I give you the
No,
world.
that's what they know.
I give you the world.
It's not
Yeah.
that
If they're
Cannabis-
not giving you the world, because the money that I saw was going through that register and that tip jar at the end of the night, if they didn't sign you for 10 deals, they're fooling themselves because you're gonna just keep on growing and growing and growing. I'm not. I
know
listen.
other bars take
Listen.
us
I
also.
ran bars for 23 years. Period. I would want you there and it was a weekday. He hasn't had people in there on a fucking Wednesday in fucking 6 years like that.
Right.
Well, in the bar, I mean,
Right.
Not since they first
5
opened.
o'clock.
Hey, they have a partnership with
I
them.
know. I'm just
Like, don't
giving them
pass it.
props. You brought
Right,
that's
right.
promoters get paid to do that. $20 a person through the door. I ran nightclubs. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. They should be giving you money.
Well, any nightclubs?
Hear that?
Any nightclubs out there?
But that's
Well-
all I'm saying.
Yeah.
They pay promoters $20 a head. You get paid $20 a head.
Yeah.
They want the ring at the bar. You know how much money they made at that bar that night?
No.
They probably rang between the bar in the back, which is never busy, and the bar in the front was packed. Trust me, it took me 5 minutes to even I had my credit card out.
I had drinks early.
So you're talking about that bar ring on those registers probably rang $8,000 that night on a Wednesday, just between the time you were there, not including after what happened and how many people stayed after
We
your
had to
party.
stop checking people in at 7:30, and when I came back in at 8, there was like a whole new crowd of people I hadn't even noticed. So like people they know that where we pop up, we'll keep being fun all night, and it happened at all 3 bars.
Yep.
And that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to bring together people who have the same mindset. Of, I love this plant. I want to be around you. It does have. We want it to be for the professional vibe, the networking. That's just kind of like what the dogma is, what you're supposed to call it when you get together and talk about the same thing or whatever. So, but anybody can really like network about cannabis if you just love it. And right now we're technically networking about cannabis, but it's like
Oh fuck! I thought we were just
any
getting
of
baked.
it.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's the only reason why I do this
cannabis-
show.
Sharing knowledge.
This is the only reason why I do this show, so I get baked.
Saying things about the same topic. It's just like I want to talk about weed people. That's what it is. And so many other people that feel the same.
cannabis is the original networking.
Period.
For
The
real.
OG.
Think about it.
It is. It connects.
And it's all coming around. Like, honestly, I was the dude in high school in like the drinking ass neighborhood whose parents were pretty strict about drinking. They're strict about weed too, but you didn't like stink and fall down when you came home. You know what I mean? Like, my mom was a breath smeller. I learned to go to Taco Bell and get some oniony shit right before I went home, so she knocked that off. But I was that dude at like big parties where everyone was just drinking and beer bongs and like keg stands, like smoking in the corner. Maybe had a beer, because I knew I had to watch that situation, which now we're like full circle to that's kind of everybody coming out of the pandemic. Like, was I just an alcoholic at home for 3 years? Like, because straight up, the first couple months when everybody was like, "Woo, spring break!" Like it was like life spring break for a minute. Not to say that people didn't have really hard situations, but that's kind of why everybody was like, "We're gonna start popping popping some wine at about 3, right?"
Yeah.
You know, summer day. So like, yeah, this is it's just like the bar scene right now. As far as being a musician, it's actually pretty cool because people are glad to be out, but it ends early now. Like there's no scene.
Yes.
Like Western Avenue in Beverly,
Yeah.
you'd think like at 10:30 walking out of any spot at adult time, you'd think it'd be like 22-year-olds galore every night. We used to go out every night in this neighborhood, and there'd be like popping ass spots on Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Everybody competed. Now it's like there'll be a band or something like that, and then everyone just goes home.
Like by 10:30, 11
And if there's not a
o'clock.
band, even it's just like food service ends at 9, so we're gonna close at 10, and everyone's like, great.
Yeah.
So the scene is way
shifting.
different, and I think, I mean, obviously that's not as great for the bars as have it being packed all night and whatever. So like this sounds like it could start turning them wheels the other way.
Yeah.
And I know we're talking local in on a worldwide podcast, but
Thanks, Matt.
but it's everywhere, dude.
I agree.
I think it's everywhere. I'm sure Nashville's still popping off with drinking and places where COVID didn't happen.
Right.
But-
The data shows that like Gen Z, and I'm the oldest Gen Z, genuinely by like 7 days. So you can figure out my birthday, do the math. And we like drinking. It's like half of us use more cannabis than alcohol or something crazy like that. That's not a good data person stat. That's very high misremembering. But it's something like really stupid, crazy high. Like Gen Z is so into weed, not alcohol. And I think about my people, my family who turned 21 during the pandemic, how they never spent all that money.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
A lot of this bar has lost of dollars, and they're gonna keep losing it as this trend continues.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
See that? Chicago. Supposed to have a scene.
Well, and bars
Right.
are starting to catch up with the idea of having some non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
We're drinking.
Mocktails
we're all drinking one right now.
Yeah.
That it's you can get at bars.
Yeah, the other thing is
Yeah, I
the,
love this
the
Profesh
cannabis beverage industry would be a $2.5 billion industry by 2025. And as soon as that happens, because all the alcohol companies are going to get involved, you'll see it in bars soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
also,
we gotta change the laws, so
Yeah.
maybe alcohol companies want to catch us up.
Yeah.
South was big alky.
Big alky.
Come on, big alky poo. What's bony? All right. Jeez.
Maybe Bud Light can jump in. They're hurting a little bit right now.
I know.
Why?
I
That's
know.
great.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Sponsor good people.
Right.
Oh, of course. They're just.
Yeah, I know PBR made one.
Yeah. Or no.
PBR?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Paps.
I got to roll
Hello.
another joint real quick, so talk some more.
Okay.
Girls,
Matt.
How about if we have Matt sing the Viper song?
Okay. I don't know if he's ready yet.
No, I think so.
You ready?
Yeah.
Might
Yeah.
as well get it over with.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it after we get higher.
Maybe.
It's funny because I brought the words because I don't know if I can remember them being all stony, and now I'm not sure I can read.
You want my glasses?
Should I give a little intro?
Yes.
Yes.
Do a little history and jazz.
Yeah. So essentially, we talked about this on 2 420s ago pretty extensively, and then a bunch last year too. So like, the short pitch is there was a really prolific time in American music that you could sort of define loosely as reefer jazz, and that's your Cab Callaways, and so like my generation's Cab Calloway was a Sesame Street guy, right? And all the hidey, 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 hey. That dude was like the Snoop of his time. Like essentially all he was the king of that genre. And there was a whole bunch of cats. So like literally, rather than sending people specifically, like, look up Reefer Jazz on Spotify or whatever you listen to, find a playlist. And it's like real cool stuff with,
We're doing it in the way.
there's like characters. There's like these characters that are actually real people, like Minnie the Moocher and Jerry the Junker. And it'd be like a lady from Gary. Or like whatever, because it's all just all these blues cats that are traveling around the country as bands, but like weed's the scene, and this is right before, or I suppose it was illegal. I don't know. Some of it was when it was already past the threshold of being, completely illegal, but that was still the scene. So this is in reference to Mr. Weedman's intro. This is a song called Viper's Drag. Unknown origin. We could ask ChatGPT probably, and it'll tell us. But it's an old weed tune from 20s, 30s, popularized maybe in the late 30s, early 40s.
Right, almost 100 years.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna move the mic a little bit. All right, Viper's Drag. If you're a viper, well, I'm the king of everything. Got to get high before I swing. Ring them bells, ding dong ding. If you're a viper, if your throat gets high and you know you're high and everything is dandy, well, you truck on down to the candy store and you spend it all on them THC candies. Oh, well, you know your little body's spent. Don't give a damn about paying rent. Light that tea, let it be. If you're a viper, I'm a viper. If you're a viper, Mr. Weedman, are you a viper?
He's a viper.
Dramatic ending. Left it open for interpretation, man.
Yeah, I'm a
I
viper.
love it.
I'm a viper.
I'm a viper. That's a cool. And
That's my new Instagram.
can I tell the origin? I know people
I
probably
love
know,
music.
but maybe
I'll sing.
we've acquired new listeners. The idea of viper is because vipers hiss,
this
and
was
when
for you.
you
I gotta
take a
grab
hit
it.
of a joint, you hiss like a viper.
I like it.
And that's one of the old terms. Google that or ask chat. I don't know what people do now. Ask some form of AI for reefer jazz terms because there's some real good stuff in there. Start.
Reefer Jazz.
Mr. G,
For jazz terms, chat. AI.
Mr. G, thank you so much. Again, 3
Thank
years
you.
in a row singing Viper. Vipers. You're the reason why I say Vipers now in my introduction 3 years ago. I am baked. Big Earl, man.
Yeah.
You grow some
Yeah.
phenomenal weed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are now smoking the new Ursula BX, but also originally done and bred by a local gentleman by the name of Hummingbird Hills. He was just on the show, and he's a local, used to grow weed in the Dan Ryan Park in 2008 and moved to the West Coast and now has an auto line, flower line, that is, to me, perfected. And now he's got Big Earl growing some now. Big Earl believes in him, and this is one that was originally bred by Hummingbird Hills, 95th and fucking Western, South Side. And Big Earl took some of his breed and made it fucking great too.
That proves the generation gap because, man, we'd have found that shit. in
You didn't, though.
1996.
Yeah. Every
Every
keg.
corner of the woods.
Yes.
Like,
Had a
oh,
keg party.
So listen
Found
to that episode with Hummingbird Hills and Big Earl and I on the Grow Hour. He'll tell you his story. It was fucking awesome. But yeah. So this is his line that came to Big Earl to us. What are you thinking about the Ursula Berry BX?
Pass it that way.
Sorry, bro. You said to the left. You passed it to the left. To the left. Pass the touchy to the left.
All right, I got it.
Song. Okay.
Sung by children.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought it was to the left, to the left, to the left.
See,
To the right.
It's another one. See, it's another one.
Or to the left, everything you own is in a box.
To the left.
Wow,
Right.
that
To
tastes
the
really
right,
good.
To the
Yeah.
right.
And that Spliff Society wrap, very nice slow burn.
Solid
It
combo.
burns evenly.
Pretty
Very nice. Pretty nice.
Pretty
We
nice.
get something special for our 420 episode. And speaking of 420, what would it be or not be a show without me reading the once a year story about the people who started 420? And that would be the Waldos, if I can get my computer right. I'm baked. So here we go. I got it open. I'm good. The Waldos and where 420 came from. Friday, or let's say Thursday, April 20th, or 420. That's the numerical code for marijuana, high holiday, a homage to pot's enduring appeal and universal slang for smoking. Festivities are planned worldwide, accumulating with a synchronized smoke at 4:20 p.m. That's what I believe in. Every day at 4:20 p.m.
Every day.
How the marijuana-loving world came to the market, the occasion is believed traceable to 5 Northern California men now in their 60s with bad backs and graying hair. They are the unofficial grandmasters by the virtue of code that created nearly 50 years ago as students at the suburban San Francisco High School in 1971. We thought it was a joke then, said David Reddix, filmmaker and retired CNN cameraman, and we still do. Reddix and his 4 buddies, Steve Capper, Larry Schwartz, Jeff Noel, and Mark Ravitch, were a stoner clique who hung out a particular wall between the classes at the San Rafael High School. They dubbed themselves the Waldos, a term coined by comedian Buddy Hackett to describe odd people. One fall afternoon in 1971, a non-Waldo classmate came to the wall with an intriguing tale and a crudely drawn-up map. And to know, I think it was one of the older brothers of the Waldos. One fall after, the map perpetuated to show the location of marijuana or cannabis garden in the forest of nearby Point Reyes National Shores. The classmate said the pot patch belonged to his brother-in-law and Coast Guard reservist stationed at Point Reyes. The classmate explained his brother-in-law, paranoid of exposure and washing out the reserves, was renouncing ownership of the garden. He handed Capper the map and said the Waldos were welcome to the cannabis. The 5 excited friends made plans to find the weed after school and decided to meet in front of the school statue of Louis Pasteur at 4:20 p.m. When the 2 of them finished football practice, they piled in Capper's 1966 Chevy Impala, popped in a Grateful Dead 8-track tape, and passed around joints and drove the 45 minutes to the coast. The 5, now firmly middle-class fathers dressed in polos and khaki pants, laugh about tumbling out of a cannabis smoke-filled car when they arrived at their destination. It was straight out of a Cheech and Chong movie, Schwartz said. They didn't find the patch that day, but vowed to keep searching. They would pass in the halls and whispers, 420 Louis, to each other if a new attempt was planned, indicating they should meet at 4:20 p.m. at the Pasteur statue. The patch, the Garden of Eden, was never found. We were probably too stoned, Schwartz said, but the 420 Louis stuck as code for let's get high at the statue after school. Soon after, it was shortened to simply 420 and meant let's get high anywhere. There were myriad reasons for the teens to speak in code about smoking marijuana in 1971. Marijuana's growing social tolerance was still decades away, and people would receive stiff prison sentences after being caught with small amounts. Another big reason Noel's father was a narcotics agent for the California Department of Justice. He had an inkling we smoked, Noel said, but I don't think he ever caught on to 420. The 5 Waldos never moved far away and all remained close. Gravich's youngest daughter attends his alma mater, and his oldest daughter is a recent graduate. Both say they've long been aware of their father's involvement in creating 420. The kids think he's pretty cool, said Julia Gravich, a sophomore. The code remained confined the Waldo social circle until they began hanging out backstage at Grateful Dead concerts. Reddick's older brother was friends with the band member Phil Lesh and led to the backstage passes and smoke sessions with the roadies and other crew members who picked up on the code. The number really took off in the late 80s when flyers were circulated at Dead concerts proclaiming 420 to be the password of stoner culture. The flyers went on to explain that 420 was a California police code for cannabis smoking in progress. It's not, but that was the other origin stories continue to circulate to the point that Capper and Reddix have committed themselves to preserving as much proof as they can of where it all the origin came from. So that's kind of the story. So I kind of worked for a brewery a while back ago that became friends with them, and they created a beer called the Waldos. That's where I truly learned the whole story from. We got to watch our owner do videos with them and get the whole proof. It was kind of cool. But I had heard the term 420 back like probably the 90s, and on people were the Grateful Dead. You saw it on posters and shit like that. So that's where I learned about it, but never knew the true origin until I learned it in 2013. Mr. G over there learned it too. Mm-hmm. So, that's
canonical.
Yeah. So I like to tell the story, and because it means something to me, and that's where I get the name 420 in Mr. Weedman, but Weedman 420, the brewery that I did work for. I have a long history with cannabis. I'm not going to go into it and record that part of it yet, but I will talk about the brewery I worked for and got me to believe that you didn't have to hide your cannabis use. And I used to dress up in costumes from 2013 and hand out edibles at all their parties that Mrs. Weedman would make. And they used to call me, "Hey, Weedman, hey, Weedman. Hey, Weedman, you got those edibles?" And then because the brewery I worked for, I learned more about the term 420 and the true nature of it. That's where Weedman 420 came from.
That's awesome.
So I've been giving out fucking edibles for a long time, Mr. G.
Yeah, I remember when the HR memo came out about it.
HR never liked when I came to a party.
There was a sign on the door that said, "Leave your weed here." Or no, there was a sign that said, "Leave your weed at the door." And I wrote, "Which door?"
And it was on my desk.
Yeah.
They put that on my desk. The HR did. Because every party, there was edibles. Couldn't help it.
And so, speaking to that too, the owner, right, it's like a famous stoner. Like a video he put out, I think it was like Snoop put out a series about, like a YouTube series about really successful stoners.
Okay.
And the owner of the brewery we worked for was one of them. And I think the tagline in it was, he said, "I wake and bake every day."
Oh, yes.
And he does.
Same.
Like, that's how I met dude and got involved with the brewery.
That's awesome.
Like, it.
So I got to pay homage to how, the whole Weedman character was a lot of it because of the brewery.
So you're like getting in on, you're young as hell in like an industry where.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe
we were
you'll be
running
the
parties.
next that dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what drives me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean,
Snoop, when you watch it, listening.
but you got to think about it this way. You're in a legal state and just like getting started in a cool business and a cool thing you're doing and not having to worry about.
Yeah, I'm a third generation stoner and the first to be able to say it, and I'm very, very grateful.
Hell yes.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's like things have changed very quickly, and I hope for our society we just gotta keep pushing towards for the right way. Even if it's legal, you still have, quirks. We keep getting at them.
That's true.
On premise, more grow space. There's always gonna be something in cannabis.
I'm a first generation stoner.
Same. Same.
My mom and dad,
Mr. G is too.
yeah, my mom and dad didn't smoke, doesn't smoke, but I'm grown, so ultimately, I make my own choices.
Right.
They're cool with it,
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a public figure. Can't really put that in the closet, like no, boo boo, I'm outside.
Yuki decides to join us.
Cutie.
She's a good girl.
I know.
So, give yourselves tell everybody where they can find you at.
Well, you can find the Profesh Sesh at Profesh Sesh, and then I'm made content, made_content. But it also could be made content.
Oh.
They didn't make you valedictorian for nothing.
Nope. Now make 3 anagrams out of it.
Right.
You didn't give a speech about a sponge for nothing. Under the sea.
Exactly.
I figured out that
Squidward.
I'm the
That's
That's
sponge.
why when you went with the sponge, I'm like, she must have been a big SpongeBob fan to get that kind of speech.
On my college cap, it was a SpongeBob. Doodle Bob once. Twice, maybe. Twice.
Anyways, you're so funny. And I'm Southside Shanky on Instagram. That's mostly where my content lives. Also, a website is highfocusmedia.com.
Oh, and can I love Nicole? Nicole couldn't be here today,
Yes.
but She makes up for the three of us.
She's here in spirit.
I feel her.
We'll have you back. We'd love to have you back. You know, coming back with Nicole and hang out and get really stoned and baked again. Have a bake session
She'll outsmoke us
and,
both.
and get normal. She'd probably outsmoke all of us.
Speak for yourself. Me and Nicole are like neck
Oh,
and
okay.
neck.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
We're neck and neck.
We
We're
can
always like,
we can all get normal
yes.
when we smoke. It's all that's what we say. We like when I learned it. I'm like, yeah, it sounds right. Just get normal.
Yep. Just stay normal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Thanks for having us.
oh, we appreciate you, Mr. G. Where you playing at?
I wasn't prepared for this question. No, actually, next week's busy. It's been slow. The 26th, Grit in the Double Knit is actually out in
so good.
Forest Park.
So
That's
good.
a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday gig. That means we're coming back from COVID. It was all weekends till pretty recently. At Exit Strategy Brewing, really cool place, really nice. One of those places where it's a brew. The whole thing's housed in one building. They got a patio, stage. Like it's chill. It's out in Forest Park. Exit Strategy Brewing Wednesday. Thursday, the Hideout.
Back at the Hideout.
Yeah.
Love it. It's been a while.
Is it next week? No. Sorry. The 20. Yeah. So the last week of April. So next week's 420 week. That ain't nothing going on, but you know that. I'll be at home.
Getting stoned.
Busy. Yeah. Stoned up.
Putting the kids to bed at 420.
Yeah. Hey guys, go play somewhere. So anyway, so the day after that's 27th is at the Hideout with the Lawrence Peters outfit, little honk tonk twang outfit I play with. On the good, not the boot scooting radio, the old stuff, man. Lawrence is great. He's a legend here in Chicago. That's the Hideout on Thursday night, the 27th. I hope. 28th is back at the Hideout for
Damn, back to back.
Lawrence curates the happy hour, and that is with the North Side Southpaws, which is kind of crazy because we're a group. I'm left-handed. This isn't a video podcast, but I play left-handed guitar. I met a dude 15, 18 years ago named John Hasbrook, who also plays left-handed guitar and stringed instruments, and we started a band. That's how I learned about all this reefer jazz stuff. We started a band called the Northside Southpaws, and we billed ourselves as the world's only all left-handed band, and we played old, weird... He played mandolin, I play guitar. We played old, weird, archaic, like...
And you were smoking left-handed cigarettes.
like old scratchy records. We would just learn them note for note, and then because they're a lot of them are in the public domain, you can just put that shit out or play it, you know. So, but we haven't played in years because of the pandemic and some other health stuff. So that's going to be a really fun one because like we used to play twice a week for like 12 years.
Wow.
Sounds like we need some music at the Profesh Sesh, some live.
Oh, if you get Grit and a Double Knit to play, you would not be disappointed.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a fun one.
Yeah, they played at our
We got a little cannabis industry following.
yeah, we did. He played our 8 decades launch party. They headlined at Blue Island Brewery. Very cannabis friendly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Got to give them a shout out too. So, but yes, you will not be disappointed with Grit and Double Knit playing.
And then Saturday, I should look up that one. Saturday, I'm actually playing solo, which is kind of fun too because I can.
Like the Saturday, like the 29th.
Saturday the 20. I have had a calendar in front of me the whole time.
Hurry up, Matt.
Scratch on Madison.
There you go.
Which is now called Scratch Public House, and it's 2 doors down from the old one, Madison Avenue in Forest Park.
Oh, Forest Park, okay.
Solo, super chill. It's like it's actually changed now. I guess it was just kind of a low key burger joint, but now I don't know what it is. It'll be weird. So let's get weird together. On the 29th. Solo's fun because I can cater to whoever. Like, I can play both kinds of country.
There you go. I've seen him. He's the man.
I play blues, country, old shit, some like Creedence. I just like learn songs that are fun, and then I go play them, and I get paid way less than I thought I would at this point in my career. It's fine.
Oh shit! Well, everybody out there in the world, happy 420 at 420. I still believe everybody should have off on 420. No one's listening to me. I think it should be a national holiday, and everybody should have off that day. Even people in the industry, do your fucking sales on the 19th and do your sales on the 21st. Let everybody have off and do whatever the fuck they want. Smoke a lot of weed, And then we can go out there and have some fun with people who don't smoke weed and maybe get them to smoke some weed and have more fun with those people because then they will realize to stomp the stigma and free the fucking plant, educate people, and free the 40,000 prisoners that are in prison for nonviolent cannabis crimes. So happy 420, everybody, while you're out there buying sale items at the fucking dispensary because that's not what it's all about. So anyway, I love you all out there. Happy 420. Thank you for listening around the world. Mrs. Weedman, you got anything else to say before we go?
Oh, happy 420.
Happy 420, everybody out there in the world.
I'm so high.
As Paulie always says, smoke smart, puff puffing away.
Puff, puff, pass.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome, long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.